For most free-to-play players, upgrading your purple items is just wasting your mats and gold. You'll be a lot stronger and increase your eye level by hundreds of score if you start focusing on maxing out your blue items. If you take these three for example, they were extremely cheap and easy to make, and these are infinitely better than any sort of purple upgrade like this one right here. Like if I take off all this gear right now and if I were to put on these pants, I'm sitting at 748 eye level down here, and if I were to put on these +6 epic ones, I'm sitting at 716. Like obviously the base stats are better and they're higher even at +6, so having these fully traded out is actually better than this +6 here. The game does a bad job of explaining these things, and most players just assume that purple is best, but fully traded out blues are extremely easy to get and they're super cheap to make. Most F2P players will have a hard time trading purples and finding duplicates for those items. So I'll show you how to trade your armor and accessories. Don't make the same mistake as me by doing things like this, by throwing magic endurance into my helmet and wasting a bunch of mats on getting it to +9. There's just some things that you don't even need to touch when you could have a fully traded out blue that would be better than this or this. So firstly, the easiest way to acquire traits for your gear would be obviously the auction house. If I were to look up the gloves that I have, I would find the traits here, and the traits are extremely cheap, right? Like I have Lucent up here and I haven't bought any Lucent, or I haven't paid for any Lucent to buy items. I've bought cosmetics, but that's about it. But look how cheap these are, right? So some of you are like, oh, how do I get Lucent? Well, selling things. Like if I were to go through my sell logs right now, we could look at this. Look, 325 here, 725, 1850, 625, 875, 645. You get the point. I'm just selling items that I don't need for Lucent. You can turn these items into extractions or lithographs, depending on which one sells for more. You're gonna have to look up your specific item. But selling items on the auction house that you get as drops is an easy way to get Lucent to trait your own items. Like yesterday, I got this at Sanctum and I sold it for $12.50. Obviously there's a tax rate here which is really shitty, but it says right here my calculated total is 10,000 Lucent, which means I've made 10,000 Lucent total, and I've managed to buy the traits that I need by selling other pieces of gear. So some people ask, how do I sell lithographs? If you come to the contract coin merchant, you can buy enchanted ink. You want to buy this out every week. That's probably the thing that you want to prioritize the most, and then you would come over to one of the merchants over here, whichever one, depending on the item that you have, like a weapon one, an armor one, or an accessory one, you would go to the corresponding merchant. So let's just show you the accessories. You'd come down to accessory materials here and you'd scroll down until you found this one. Here's what it would cost: 10 precious pure gold, Emirates. Of course, you can see here what you need, but you would make this, and your hypothetical accessory like this, you would take it and you would put it into the bottom left of your inventory, which is lithograph. Obviously I can't do it, but like this one for example, you'd put it in here, you'd have your blank, and you would create this. Once you create this lithograph, you can sell it immediately on the auction house. So that is a really easy way to make Lucent without paying for it, but it's also a good way to buy traits. Another way to get enchanted ink is with your Ornate coins. So if you come down in the Ornate coin shop, you can buy 100. So definitely buy that if you haven't. These are a necessity if you want to sell things for Lucent. Now, if you have purple armor and you can't really go back to blue, the traits that you already have on it can be cheaply upgraded the same way. Like for example, this one has magic endurance on it, right? So all I would need to do is go to the auction house and look at armor, helmets, and then I would go to wherever a blue lithograph is. So Mask of the Resistance, magic endurance, right? 98 Lucent. Would I pay 98 Lucent for magic endurance? Absolutely not, but it's so much cheaper buying a trait as a blue than buying it as a purple. So we have blue traits here, let's say 98 for magic endurance, and then let's go back to wherever the lithograph is for this one. Magic endurance, 300, 299, right? But instead you have an easier way to get items, especially these blue ones, right, by using your abyssal tokens. And I've gotten at least 20 of each dupe from contracts. So depending on the item that you need, I would also craft contracts over here at the Sundries crafter. In order to get these, you need Allied Forces seals, and to do that, all you have to do is dissolve one of these 4, and then you can craft the ones that you need. But definitely use these in Abyssal Dungeons, because that way you can get even more blue items and potential purples. And with those purples, all you got to do is just sell them. Let's say my ranged evasion is at 1 of 3, right? I wouldn't even have to buy or spend more Lucent on Crusader gauntlets, because any other pair of gloves that I get that are also blue or green can be put into that slot. So duplicates are only necessary for adding a new trait to a piece of gear, but to upgrade it, all you need is a duplicate item type. So any sort of glove would go into this item if they have the same trait. Now, in order to unlock a trait, you would need a duplicate of the same item. So I'll show you a quick example. I am missing critical hit on my greatsword, and so I come down here and crit hit chance is at 50 right now. So I'll just buy one of these. See, I'm missing critical hit, and I have a blue critical hit here. So I just spent 50 Lucent on a potential upgrade, and it added blessing. That's how you would do it with any piece of gear. Now, for weapons, this is what you're going to save your Lucent for. In order to unlock traits, these different trait slots, you're obviously going to have to run the dungeon X amount of times in order to potentially get a duplicate of the item with the trait that you need. Now, I've only got this sword once, and the rest I unlocked with either a trait unlock stone, and I believe the other one I unlocked with a lithograph. So if you buy this trait right here, you can add it straight to your sword. So it adds 1 trait of heavy attack chance. After that, all you have to do is come down here, buy heavy attack chance for 90, and just go in until it happens to hit. So over spending 1300 times 3, you could potentially get heavy attack chance in way less of a cost price. Now, another way, instead of spending Lucent, if you're in a guild that is above level 14, I think, or they have the guild, like the entire guild merchant open here, so you can buy these blue chests. You can purchase one of these. Now, it's obviously RNG. Let's see whether or not I get a trait that I need. But this one's specifically for weapons. Heavy attack chance 20. So I got lucky there and I got heavy attack chance, which means I can put that straight onto my sword. I'm not going to use the blessing again because 32% is too low for me, but it'll just keep building, and it's an easy way to continue leveling up your traits on your weapons. All of these blues that I've gotten, I've stacked up because these are the traits that I need for my gear, right? Like magic evasion, ranged evasion. It's like ranged evasion, melee evasion. All these traits are decent traits to have. I could sell them if I wanted to, but I would rather keep them until I unlock a slot, another trait slot on this pair of pants. So keep all your blue items with good traits. They can be used in any piece of gear as long as it's the same type and shares that trait. So I'll show you a quick example. These 3 helmets are extremely easy to come by. I'm pretty sure you can get them from Shadowed Crypt. It's guaranteed to go into each other, right? 100% guaranteed, and super easy to come by. So in order to unlock another trait here, right, it's locked. This one is magic evasion. So if you have a duplicate of the same kind of item with a different trait, it will unlock a secondary trait for you depending on which one you want, of course. So that's how you would unlock a second one. So definitely don't make these mistakes as a free-to-play player like I did. I had 3 purples here. I'm working on replacing certain pieces with rares because it's so much easier to get these things fully traded out for your protection stats over here, right? Like they're going to be extremely low if you cannot find trait unlocks for these pieces here. Definitely start working on blues. It's way better. Again, I'll show you really quickly. This is 748 eye level off of a fully traded out blue, and the previous ones were like 716. Yeah, the base stat might be a little bit better, but ultimately this is what you want. You want these here. I mean, even if you compare them, you can see, like, look, the melee evasion, ranged evasion, and magic evasion. My magic is pretty low, but like, take these 2 for example, 860 and 674. That's with a fully traded out pair of rare pants. Now, getting traits for a epic is a lot harder, especially gear that is gate kept behind dungeons. But like, look, if I put these on 574, 510, right? We go back, 674, 860. Now remember, your protection stats are huge. This is what determines whether or not somebody hits you or doesn't hit you. And of course, the higher the better. So having a rare item that is fully traded out, again, is infinitely better than having a higher base stat with no traits on it. So this is a huge mistake that I made by wasting a lot of my materials and gold on upgrading purple items with no traits on them. If this video has helped you at all, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Throne and Liberty. Thanks for watching.